All right. So here we have the kangaroo. I don't believe we have named it thus far.
We called it Kangi.
That's a terrible name. We're not going to call it that. We need something imaginative. If anyone has ideas, please share them. Anyhow, we had a plan to free the kangaroo as soon as it has enough business cards to stand on that it can peek its head out of the top of this lovely little cage we have created for it. We're not treating this kangaroo very humanely, but it's all for good business.
It can breathe, and that's about all we can say for it right now.
Yeah, so we've been so far pretty successful. We have a nice little stack of business cards happening here for the kangaroo, patting its seat, and I'm hoping we'll get more by the end of the day. Let me just rearrange this sign here so it's legible to everyone.
And our sales team has been, I wouldn't call them aggressive, but I would say that they've been very dynamic and effective. That's right, dynamic and effective in jumping on people and making them talk to us. And some of the people they've stopped have actually been interested once we tackled them and started that whole process. So Aaron can describe a little bit more about like what we see going on right in front of us at the moment, just at the other booths and stuff.
Yeah. So we doing okay here?
Yeah, we're doing okay. Keep going.
So in front of us we have Nokia, IBM, Huawei, and SUSE. Is that SUSE? All of them are likewise engaged in talking to people. I think we've reached a little bit of a lull in the afternoon where people are just had lunch, feeling a little sleepy and not as active. But there's still a pretty good crowd milling around here.
At the moment, we're going to get Pasha in, our CEO of Host-telecom, most distinguished guest, to tell us his impressions about his experience here so far.
Hi guys. So first of all, I'm impressed with Sydney weather. It's really terrible rain here.
Yeah, it's like a typhoon.
Like typhoon and wind. But at the same time, on OpenStack Summit, it's sunny and people are smiling here. So we are in a talks with our potential partners and customers, and I really appreciate our Asian guests here. They are very interested in OpenStack clouds in Europe, and also they are interested in migration from VMware to OpenStack, and they have thousands of VMs ready to be moved.
We want to talk to those people.
Yeah, and I was really surprised.
We're going to be tackling our Chinese colleagues about that because that's pretty exciting. Everybody should be getting off of VMware and onto OpenStack Cloud, and he apparently has found the well source of those folks.
Yeah, we are the right company to move all the infrastructure, and we have also talks with guys from Singapore, Taiwan, Korea, and also from Australia. And it's a real challenge for us to be present in Asia in next year. How do you think?
It's a challenge, or we're going to definitely be here talking to that customer base and getting them on bare metal on OpenStack in our data centers.
That's true, and I just got one guy from US who also wants some US, and who wants some presence in Europe, and they have customers, and he's looking for a reliable data center in the European Union. That's why he's here, and they want OpenStack Cloud. That's also what we provide, and I think I need to go to catch someone else.
You better go tackle him. All right, and so I also spoke with someone from Australia who does an education research company, and they're running all kinds of different platforms. Bye, Pasha. And I'll get used to saying goodbye to people when they leave the camera. I'm new to this. And so I was also talking to this gentleman, and as I was saying, they're all over the place with the different solutions that they use. And they're a smaller smaller venture, and I was telling them about our custom data center infrastructure and about all of the data hosting, replication, and disaster recovery that we provide based in OpenStack, and how easy it is to move to OpenStack in general from VMware with our systems. And we're going to go take a little bit of a walk now, and Ilya's going to walk backward. I hope he doesn't hurt himself. And let's just go. We are in Sydney, Australia, and there is a right typhoon going on outside at OpenStack Summit in Sydney, and as much as it's late spring here, we're having quite the typhoon, so let's go check that out. I'll be like Wendy the weather girl, and I'll be Denise the weather girl, not Wendy the weather girl. But if we're getting closer. And, okay, you see the Hard Rock Cafe probably in back of me, and you can see the palm trees are bent over. Not a good time to be outside. A very good time to be inside the OpenStack Community Marketplace. And the lovely OpenStack Foundation Lounge. And across from us, Nokia. And we've got Nokia and Fusion Cloud back there at Huawei. And we're going to keep walking. We're walking and we're talking. And we're seeing a pretty busy show floor. Kind of has slowed down a little bit at lunch. People are digesting. But you still see quite a bit of activity. IBM, of course, everybody wants to talk to IBM. But IBM doesn't have OpenStack storage. They make OpenStack work with their storage. So that's just a little inside view into IBM and open source. And SUSE, of course, has been OpenStack or an open source all the way since their very beginning. So let's get another shot of SUSE and appreciate who they've been. And do we want to talk to SUSE, or would we keep just going? I guess we're not going to talk to SUSE. We're going to go over here. You know what? Let's go talk to our friends over here at Telecom TV. They are doing they're doing lots of interviews with people around OpenStack, and they're a commercial venture, and they are mostly centered around getting great video for telecom customers. So you can see in the background some of the folks that are talking to the telecom folks about what they'll be doing in their interviews. And let's go check out Red Hat swag. Red Hat has really great swag. And hopefully my friend Dan Gilfix will be over here because, he is over here. Let's go talk to Dan Gilfix. And maybe he'll give us some free ducks and things like that. So, Dan, can you come and talk to us? Can you talk to us? Do you want to, we'll come up to the booth. This is Dan Gilfix, my friend from the old days with Linux at HP. Hi, Dan.
Hello, Denise. Very pleased to meet you.
Very pleased to meet you, too, even though I've known him for 15 years. So I noticed that you're giving away these little ducks, and I was curious, is there any specific meaning behind the ducks?
The ducks it's very agile, and it floats, and it means it stays above water. And it's very symbolic that the duck will stay above water because many professionals, when they get involved in OpenStack and software-defined storage, they find themselves underwater. And so this is an example of how, symbolically, somebody working with Red Hat and RDO, the upstream version of OpenStack, they will actually stay above water because we're helping them with our consulting services and our technologies and our full solutions.
Excellent. Do you personally go in and talk to people who need this little floaty device to keep them above water when they're working with OpenStack?
Yes, we do. We have our crews come with these ducks, and they do present the ducks and the water together.
So there's a whole lot of ducky going on at Red Hat, and I was wondering if you could find some of these cool flip-flops for me, and I don't really want to tell them my shoe size because it's enormous.
Fortunately, Unfortunately, the flip-flops, or in Australia, they're called thongs.
Yeah, we don't say thongs in the United States. It has a whole different connotation.
Different meaning.
Yes.
Different meaning. When they said that we have ordered 5,000 thongs, we might be violating.
That would be great to have a little OpenStack thong, and
But don't worry about your size, because all the thongs are one size.
Oh, they're one size?
Yeah, unisex, like the restrooms here.
Oh. Yes, there are unisex restrooms here. Yay, go Australia. Okay, so I'm going to steal a duck, if that's all right.
That's okay.
Because I need some companionship in the bathroom sometimes. And forget I said that. That was a really bad thing to say. And, what else do you have over here?
Well, we have, in terms of swag, we actually have a white paper.
Oh, they have a white paper.
That's more on the serious side. From IDC.
I really actually would like to have your white paper, because that's something I'll dig into.
And then we have a dummies book.
Ooh, I definitely need that.
Okay.
I mean, and not just because it's for dummies. I mean, even though I'm not always you know what I'm trying to say, I need some. I'll read this for help.
Because the problem with these types of solutions is that I think a lot of people assume that everybody understands everything. And so what Dummies does, it brings down the level to the lowest common denominator. And it identifies issues and defines them so that people who really don't know everything can feel comfortable. So in this case, this book is on container storage for dummies. We have another one that's OpenStack storage for dummies, which we should have brought to the show, but our shipping department made a little boo-boo, so they sent the wrong ones.
You're looking at the shipping department for Host-telecom. I am the shipping department. I packed everything, but we're a lot smaller than Red Hat.
Okay. But in addition to this content, we have swag. So if you'd like, we have a black version of the Red Hat Red cap. Red is on the inside.
Do you have any fedoras left, or are those gone?
Fedoras are never given out as swag. They are
never?
Never, ever, ever. It's the one thing that is never offered by Red Hat as swag. In order to get a fedora, you have to be hired by Red Hat.
That is so rude.
It is.
That's completely rude. Do you have former Red Hat employees who have fedoras, who wear them, and when they come back and they're working for maybe Dell now, but they wear their fedora?
If I were a former Red Hat employee and I had a fedora, I might try to sell one on eBay.
And I think that tells you a lot about Dan and his approach to life.
If you would like a T-shirt, the T-shirts are we have plenty of the T-shirts.
I would love a T-shirt. And could I get a XXX or a 2X to take back to a loved one at our table?
Yes, they're down on the end.
Okay.
Get past here.
Oh, look, he's completely trapped by the multitude of T-shirts behind the desk, because that's how much stuff Red Hat has. Let's go back where Dan is and take a look. Oh my God, it's a fire hazard. He cannot get out of here. It's a total fire hazard. Okay, there's a double X. I got Ilya. I'm getting one for you. I'm getting one for somebody else. And I'll get a couple others, and I won't name names. Thank you for talking to us.
Welcome. Very, very, very pleased to meet you, Denise. And Ilya, and thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, and come see us so we can tell you all about our data center, where we put OpenStack on bare metal and we customize your infrastructure solution just for you. Amrith is from Verizon Wireless, and tune in for a longer interview with Amrith, but maybe he has a couple words to say about what he's doing here and what he's finding interesting about the summit.
It's really lovely to see lots of old friends, and I have a talk in 20 minutes, which I need to go and present.
Ooh,
so
don't miss that.
If anybody wants to know what we're doing doing with OpenStack, my talk's in 20 minutes.
Okay.
Seat 3.4.
What's the room number again?
Room 3.4.
Okay, I might be up there.
Cool.
All right, that'll also help me get off camera. All right. So Cisco, the big dog, is here, and I am going to approach you.
Yes.
Is it Suhail?
Yeah, you got it right, Suhail.
Suhail Syed?
Yes.
I'm Denise Boehm.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm from Host-telecom, and we are also sponsoring the summit, but we're wandering the halls and asking our colleagues why they're here and what kind of technology they're interested in and what they're telling people.
So we're here to make business, grow business. A lot of customers are here, a lot of partners are here, and we just had a session on performance, where we talked about the work we're doing in the open source world with OPNFV, where about 85 people show up, very interested. And this is the reason why we come here to OpenStack, because we have this incredible opportunity to scale and meet different companies, help them, solve their problems, and make a lot of money.
So Cisco's been up and down for a while, and it now seems like you guys are on a serious roll. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So there's been definitely a shift in the way we were thinking about multi-cloud and how do we approach it. We have learned from our numerous missteps in the past, and I think the future looks very bright. We've heard about our announcement last week with Google,
Yes.
Google Cloud, and
Woo, Google Cloud.
Yeah, do no evil. Yeah, so we actually are partnering with them, and we believe the industry is making a big pivot back to the cloud with applications moving there, and we're ready to meet them.
Well, where do you stand with Kubernetes?
We love Kubernetes.
You love Kubernetes?
Yeah.
How much do you love them?
Very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big Google fanboy. So anyway.
Did you just come from Google? Do you used to work for Google?
I came from Intel, but I like them. They give you freedom.
Do you like Intel? I'm kidding. You don't have to answer that.
I do like Intel, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I was at HP and at Mirantis, and now with Host-telecom, and
Nice.
we put
How's that been?
It's great. I love it. It's a smaller data center, but we serve customers, and we do OpenStack on bare metal and disaster
nice.
recovery, and data backup and migration to OpenStack Cloud from
We get a lot
VMware.
of, questions regarding that from our telco customers, especially about disaster recovery and backup. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
it's top
that's
of
the
mind.
name. That's the name of the game, really. And
Yeah.
ransomware is an evil thing.
Not just that. Look at the hurricane that hit Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
right? When infrastructure goes down, what do you do?
And they're really down. That's not going to recover. So if they aren't backed up somewhere, they've had it.
Yeah.
But thank you for spending the time talking
You're
to
welcome.
us. And
It was a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks. So we are Host-telecom, and we're a sponsor of the OpenStack Summit in Sydney, Australia. And we're doing live coverage of the event so that viewers of anybody interested in OpenStack can see what's going on here at the event. And we're walking around and talking to our neighbors to see what brings them to OpenStack Summit and to talk about the technology that they're excited about. Hi. I'm Denise Boehm. I'm from Host-telecom, and we are also a sponsor of the OpenStack Summit. And we're walking around talking to our neighbors to see what they have to say in terms of OpenStack or just whatever interests you about this event. And would one of you or three of you care to speak with us?
We're the Linux Foundation, which is the nonprofit that supports and promotes Linux in particular, but open source in general. So as part of that, we're really into talent development, since having enough talent is critical to maintaining the open source community. If a company can't find talent, they won't adopt the software, and then where are we at? So for OpenStack in particular, we have a range of courses ranging from introductory free courses all the way through pretty intense instructor-led courses. So that's what we're here talking about, our training offerings and a lot of the other great things that our foundation does.
So I started off with open source and with Linux at HP back in the day when you couldn't boot Linux on an Itanium server. So I worked with B. Dale Garby on something we called the Linux Enablement Kit, and so that we could get you guys onto Itanium servers, and it was really fun. So OpenStack kind of became the huge news in the last several years, with people not really saying open. I mean, they're still talking about open source software, but it seems like there's an uptick in sort of more the overall open source messaging that we're hearing, and I'm just curious what your take on that is.
On the uptick of open source messaging?
Yeah, and just the fact that open source, it's becoming. It was never not cool, but it's becoming more headliney.
I mean, I definitely think it's because companies in particular are starting to recognize the fact that open source software gives them a strong competitive advantage. They're basically able to take what exists in terms of open source, build their little bit on top of it, and take advantage of all the R&D and development that's taken place in open source leading up to that point. I think that, whereas some companies figured that out early, I feel like we've kind of hit the part of the adoption curve where most companies are now recognizing that, and I think that's probably a big part of why you're seeing a lot more discussion of open source software in general happening. Open source is kind of one as far as software development models go, it's part of why we're here. We firmly believe that.
So it's definitely super cool to still be open source. We knew that at the beginning, and I think here with the Linux Foundation, they've confirmed that yet again, that open source was and always will be the king. And OpenStack, obviously a huge part of that. All right. Thanks for helping. Thanks for talking to us. Okay.
How you doing?
Good. I'm Denise
Denise.
Bame, and this is Ilya Stechkin, my cameraman and boss, and we're from Host-telecom, and we're also a sponsor here at the summit.
Excellent.
And we're walking about, and we're live broadcasting and talking to people who are here about what it is that they're talking about here, and what your interests are.
Yeah, well, Fujitsu is playing pretty big in this area. We're a global sponsor for this, for OpenStack, one of the gold sponsors. So really been head out of our Japanese head office, very heavily involved. Our MetaArc is probably one of the big areas that we're really concentrating on at the moment. We've got our K5 OpenStack solution as well. Locally, we're also working with a number of partners in this area, such as the Vault solution out of Canberra.
Okay.
We're heavily involved with that as well.
Are you seeing a lot of growth in the Australian market in particular, or how would you describe that?
Around cloud, yes, hugely. OpenStack, we're still working through that. I think there's still maturity level within Australia.
Where do you see people mostly in cloud in Australia? What kind of platforms do you see them working with?
Oh, look, I think most organisations are now just moving towards cloud. There's a push. Government now federal government has a cloud-first policy, so but it's very hard not to go cloud.
Right.
Federal government. So you're talking probably, I think I read somewhere it was about by 2020 it's about $1 billion a year worth of cloud out of federal government. So it's
that's just out of the Australian federal government, $1 billion. That's a good market to chase.
Yeah, it's a big market. So we're seeing tin, just normal on-premise legacy tin sales drop, but we're also seeing cloud expand.
Excellent.
As they move more digital.
Okay, but Japan must be on fire for you.
Japan's always on fire. That's always on fire. It's just so hard to keep up with them.
Yeah.
They're a large organisation. Fujitsu in Japan is just very large. We're number 3 in the world in IT, and people don't understand, and we're number 1 by a long way in Japan.
That's pretty exciting stuff. We have to figure out how to become number 1 in some other equally powerful country.
That's it.
We might try to compete with you, but that's not what we're trying to do today anyway.
Let's all be friends.
Yeah, maybe you'll want to come work with us one day.
That's it. I don't think there is competitors now. There's just one day you're a competitor and the other day you're a partner.
That's absolutely true. So be nice to everybody, right?
That's it. Of course, you have to be.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to have to sit with them for, hours and days and weeks and years. So
that's it.
All right. Thank you so much for talking
with us. Have a great forum, and we'll see you around.
All righty.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hello. Hi, Rico. I'm Denise Bame.
Hi, Rico.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm from Host-telecom, and we're also sponsoring the OpenStack Summit, and we're walking around talking to folks who are here and to see what they're bringing to the summit and what their biggest issues are.
Yeah. I mean, our biggest issue is Of course, what we care about is OpenStack and Kubernetes, right? And what we care about is like how we bring the overall solution for our customers. So some of the people may heard about like super user like a word candidate. One of them is UnionPay, and UnionPay is our customer. So that's like we help people to we help them to like we sell the product. Our product is to like OpenStack or Kubernetes or combine it together. So we sell like our service as a one product. So what you get is like we help you to deploy, we help you to plan your entire like cloud architecture, and we help you to like even like more take care of whatever things. Like the most important for the user is the application itself. Like that's only thing matter. So yeah, we're trying to like approach to the user side. So yeah, we you might heard about some other like other companies they sell as a service, but no, we sell as a product. And yeah, we have a very successful use cases. We have a lot of like very successful. We're not just doing in China. We're actually doing globally. We have already opened an office in a lot of places. We have like a few more offices like in America and anywhere else. So we are very excited about the business growing we have.
That's exciting because I think our whole message too is that we're trying to enable more customers to really be able to move onto cloud, and specifically to OpenStack cloud. And I'm hearing that a lot from some of the other folks who are sponsoring here. And I think you just gave a really excellent an excellent roundup of that information. And so would you say you work with all kinds of customers in terms of size, or do you particularly focus on the enterprise?
No, we actually work on we work for all kind of customer, and the interesting part is that we are like it's already part of our company's culture. We fight with the customers. Like everyone have the different use cases. We have like network kind of use case with transport, like bank kind of use cases. So yeah, everyone bring the different kind of use cases. So yeah, we work for enterprise, but we also work for others. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's absolutely what I'm asking, and I think we're kind of in the same boat with you, that we want to make it available and easy for everybody. And a few years ago, that wasn't necessarily the case. We're like, oh, here's Nova, go figure it out.
So yeah, usually I'm also I'm part of Heat. I'm a Heat PTL.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and
PTO, Heat. Did you guys catch that?
Project team leader. Yeah, but it turned out that we like inside of Heat, and we're also doing this. We are trying to more approach of what user needed. Like we also have like user feedback, operator feedback. We have something for developer, and that's something that we easily have. We're trying to figure out what the user exactly wants. Yeah, I know the old part that always send people, hey, you have the Nova, do it yourself. But OpenStack is an infrastructure. It's not like the infrastructure done all the work.
To see vendors and different service providers and product providers taking that tack, because that's a major shift from even 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, of course, it's like in the early age, now we still figure out, we're trying to make OpenStack a better place. And nowadays, like we trying to target from the user side. So you see, we don't do just OpenStack, we do the ES container, right? We do the SAP, we do the Kubernetes.
It's a big fat open world out here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and we're trying to crawl the way out there. So yeah, we need to survive, and user need it for that phone. So it's a win-win situation. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Yes. Well, come visit us at Host-telecom. We're just around the corner, and we'll be back by checking in with you, seeing how things are going.
Yeah, very great.
All right.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.